Testing 1 2. Okay, my family una cabo. You know, Sierra Leoneans all over the world. One for tell una plenty. Thank you for where una they continue for follow we on Sheriff's Broadcast Network, and of course, na a delight to we at any time where we they bring Sierra Leonean programs them to una. Of course, my family una know say we president. His Excellency retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio don't finally land inside the United States of America, you know, in the past 2 days. Of course, it don't do a lot of stuff them around. It don't meet with quite a lot of people. It don't put Sierra Leone on the map. It don't dignify with country once more. Of course, the accolades that we get all over the world by world leaders is great. And so today, so we don't take it up as an obligation on our part for let we play with your own part for bring His Excellency's extraordinary sojourn in the United States, waiting they don't do in this country, and how we'll go able for relay that to now waiting Sierra Leone as a country go able for benefit from that. So today we get plenty things that we'll get for bring come to now. We get for talk to ministers in government. We get for bring the live town hall meeting where the president get for get in New York with Sierra Leoneans. Of course, Sierra Leoneans, they will get at the airport for receive them. Plenty of we don't see the videos, the pictures of that whole event. We get for bring and come to una for them one they will not see them yet. We also get for bring come to una the live speech where the president gave at the United Nations General Assembly. We get for bring that entire speech to una. So today na a day for interact. Na day where we get for ensure say we don't interact with country, government officials, and of course you self with the watch we if you want for profile your own views on waiting for happen today. Today na the right day for do that one day. And so we get for continue for come to up to now with that. Once more, Mina Ibrahim Sheriff. Of course, today we come to una live from New York City from we mobile studio, and of course this is a studio we move around with. And so we get for do that. One for say plenty thank you to all the one that we feed we inside New York. One for tell now plenty thank you, of course, for the food and for everything. All right, so me family when I stick around from around the globe as we continue for bring the programs then to una from Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Stick around with us.
above all else. We can always succeed if we learn to treat each other the way you want another person to treat you. It's a billions to genius. Peace. Love and harmony. Together we go and say peace, love and harmony.
Yes, peace, love, and harmony. That na Leoneans, a very young, talented Sierra Leonean. Of course, just like how we can tell, as Sierra Leoneans, we are very much talented. Anything we'll put your attention to, we do them to perfection. And so, Leoneans, this is not the young man this way. We able for Kano, but during the electioneering process, na Sierra Leone, it get a very valid message where it pass yonder. We don't need fet among ourselves na Sierra Leone. We don't need wahala. Now the country is too small. We get all the resources where other countries they not get, but we then they advance. So now that peace, love, and harmony and development. Now the message that one the way the president bring come to the United Nations General Assembly. Of course, you don't meet with plenty world leaders, especially Bill Gates. Into don't talk the goalkeepers. Now the program that when I don't say Bill Gates don't do plenty good things na Africa and not just don't go na Sierra Leone yet. And so we want to say plenty thank you to Dr. David Senge for what it make them happen for let the president go able for sit down with Bill Gates. Of course, the president also get for sit down with George Soros. When I don't say George Soros now. Plenty na very wealthy man. Now the man that one day way they promote it is spend in money for promote democracy in developing countries. So the president meets with him as well. Apart from that, the president don't meet with plenty world leaders them. And the message where they promote na peace, love, harmony, and development na Sierra Leone. So it don't get a lot of accolades doing that. And so me family them. Now that message we have to try for promote Nayaso na Sheriff's broadcast network. At a time like this, with the predicament we will find our country in, we don't need any fet among ourselves. So today, as the president in the United Nations General Assembly, plenty Sierra Leoneans, pro-government Sierra Leoneans, especially SLPP members, they begin to amass themselves at the UN headquarters for me to show support for the president. And of course, we don't hear plenty for say APC then get plan for stage a demonstration, a protest. But like I've been telling up one of the videos them, where APC they do anything, that they come out with press release and press conferences for tell the government, the world, for saying that this is the one for do. And we don't see none of that. So later on, I will begin for Yeri, a spokesman of a so-called concerned Sierra Leoneans. They announced that there is going to be protest in New York. Well, we don't see that one day. However, we see one APC man or somebody who dressed in red. They go outside the SLPP, then be there. When they try for, welcome the president, right? Let us see what will happen when we man land. You know, so my family, the question is, waiting this man can fend here, and why get for dress in red for candle waiting? The only reason why you go come here in that kind of way, now because you want for can fend plaba. You want for can fend plaba, in as much as in a democracy, it is your right to stage a protest against the government, against the president, for anything where you feel say the government or the president not they do right. But when you stage that protest, you want for do them in a peaceful way. You don't want for go decide who say say people that they will the protest against waiting you want for protest against. If you go there in a halal get for commodity. So why you want for go there? Now then say when you tell the dog, you get for tell the bone. Respectfully, right? I don't support the SLPP members there where they bow at the man. It's not necessary. If when I don't tell the police, say, this man not supposed for there, I can't for car offend we, and the police don't care respectfully, they don't tell him for my commodity, when I don't need for bone. When I just left for my go south, because that bowing, it ignites confusion, it ignites trouble, and it bring down the man in dignity. We don't need that as Sierra Leoneans. Like when the president, they talk, that message with the president car with, now we all forgo with. We all for accept each other. All right? But this man in red, whether na APC or na something we want to do, he not be get no rights for kind of this environment, dressed that way, or with whatever intention he had. All right? So my family at the town hall meeting, now New York for can start just now, and so we'll get for Brian Can live toner. But for now, let's stick around as we continue for bring you the program. Stick around with us. Right. So, me family, the way the president land inside New York City. Of course, before the president they land in New York City, plenty talks then be done. They go around for say, oh, the president not able to America. If the president go inside America, they hold up and they do this, then they do that. Now, the one that will be the perpetrates that kind of talk. Now, people that will not understand how government they operate. Madabio was properly elected by the people of Sierra Leone in a free and credible national elections. And so he is the president of the country. By that status, the president gets right for travel to go anywhere in this world. And like I've been telling you also, that when the president reach now any country, the security apparatus in that country now the responsibility for secure, for make sure say he is safe, for make sure say he is secured. And exactly now that's happened. From the time where the president land, now the airports, till to the time where they go, now different meetings then, till where they arrive this morning, now the UN General Assembly. That is just how things happen around the world. And so plenty of people that they talk on social media say, oh, the president don't come. They not can go to the presidential lounge. He come up from the back door. He this, he that. You know, they talk that kind of talk. They plenty, right? And so I don't know if they understand how things tend to work. I don't know if they understand that. But if they don't, then the need for no say, the president the president is, the president is protected by the security apparatus. Now their country that they will say it's travel go. So people then get for understand that. And so when the president reach, when you see even some of the, the pictures, the way would they see when they go around, some of the pictures, the way they go around, you will find out, say, the president there in the company of the, Secret Service. They attach Secret Service to them. Now then they work with them. Right? So, let us see how Sierra Leoneans, they welcome the president inside New York, where he arrived there. Stick around.
Let us get all the signs together in one area.
Now, we in America today, they welcome with President Julius Maada Bio. As you see the crowd, now you get a lot of people in here. You have the placards, they welcome everybody. As you can see, we get so many Sierra Leoneans here today. This is Terminal 1. Of course, JFK, you have lots of terminals. We get the other group of people where don't go na the mission, na day and day, because they're not able to come na the airport. But we get a good number of people here. We don't come for welcome the president and in entourage to the United Nations na New York. So as you can see, this is the airport, JFK Airport, Terminal 1. We all don't come, we don't gather naya, and everything is going on well, as you can see.
So waiting would they see that the president just not arrived. Sierra Leoneans they can welcome him. Of course, you they see say around the president. Now we get a Secret Service of United States when they ensure say he is protected in this country and that nothing will happen with him. That is what is going on right now. So for the one the way you talk, say, oh, the president come up from the back door, and not go the right way. Look at all these security officers, these police officers, and of course you will see some of them dressed inside suits. These are secret services. Then they ensure say it is their responsibility to secure this president, and that is exactly what is happening in New York City, where the president arrived at the John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City. That is when the president arrived there. And so, it could be a dismay to anybody for begin for downplay how the president, they not get respect, they don't disrespect him, they don't do this, they don't do that. Because these are some of the conversations people are having. Now some of the talks in this way, people that you talk, or how the president don't come, they not do this, they not do that, So me from them, this was in New York City, and as you can see, these are all security vehicles assigned to the president. and ensuring that he is safe, he is secure, right? That is what is going on right at JFK Airport in New York City. So all that talk where people that don't talk say, oh, the president, you know, we can New York, they get for Olam, they get for do this, it's not possible, it not happen. In fact, now the opposite happen. They welcome in America past anybody. And we be know that some of you they tell people, they say, when I wait to let this man come New York, let us see how he's going to be welcome here. And so it is very, very necessary, very nice. So my family will get for come to now the president meet with Bill Gates. We'll get for bring that one they come to now for now go see what's happen with that as well, right? So stick around with us.
Sierra Leone is at this very moment that makes you believe that focusing on human development is the right path to take?
Like I said earlier, the human resource is the most important resource that we have in the world. And any attempt to embark on development without first going back to the human resource will never work. All the countries in the world that have advanced in the past couple of years, from the examples we saw, are countries that are investing and continue to invest on human resource. I believe that through technology, again, I want to say thank you to David, who accepted my invitation to go back home from IBM. I had to find special words to convince him to go back to one of the poorest countries. But I challenged him, and that is the challenge I want to throw to the world. Yes, we are one of the least developed countries in the world, but I believe that we can move and catch up with the rest of the world within a very short time if we use technology. As you were saying, Bill, the education project, which is my flagship project for the government, what I want to do is to really, already I've declared a free education, but I want to make this free education from primary school to secondary school not only free or accessible, but also quality that is competitive around the world. How can I use technology to deliver tuition, quality or world standard tuition to the last village in Sierra Leone? We have started the process, but we need the technological infrastructure to be able to deliver quality. I believe that the last boy or girl in the village getting the same quality tuition like those in the United States can perform very well. I believe in that, and that is why I, from a very poor home, that is how I got to sit by you. And I believe that we can move a lot of other people. Why free education? People are so poor that they cannot afford up to $20 a year to pay for their kids. So a lot of kids are dropping out of school. We do not have the wherewithal, but I have challenged the nation, and we have started the process. This year, every child going to a government-assisted school is doing so freely, and we are providing not only tuition, but also textbooks, uniforms, and providing nutrition so that that can keep them in school. So I truly believe that we can do the quantum leap to catch up with all of you if we use technology as a tool. And that is why I established first the Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation. we want to innovate Sierra Leone to catch up with the rest of the world, so that we can be part of the world community.
Thank you. Bill, you get the last question. How do you want people to respond to what they hear today? Now, there are lots of people who are in the room and many young people who are viewing this live globally, watching this session. What do you want them to do now? How do you want them to respond?
Well, this week is a special week in the year where we really do focus on these broad goals and where we look at what the challenges are. I think in response to that, people going and visiting, going to Sierra Leone, seeing what's there, thinking about their personal capabilities, their institution's capabilities, say their university or their hospital, can they be paired up with an institution in Africa to spread those best practices? For people who are lucky to have a great education, the idea of doing like you're doing, going back, diving in, helping out, modernizing the system, seeing new opportunity. That's the type of engagement we need, and we need it on a very big scale. I do believe that innovation is key here, but only if that innovation focuses on this big gap. The numbers look very, very daunting, but we need to engage ourselves and surprise the world on the progress we make.
You've heard it, people. Thank you, President Bio. I look forward to working with you to truly make Sierra Leone an example to the world of how innovation can help us achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And Bill, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
All right, my family. So that's now been President Bill at the Goalkeepers Way, not the Bill Gates Foundation in New York City. Of course, there once more, Dr. David Senge, one for say plenty thank you to you for way you facilitate a very important meeting like that. So this is what we are talking about. It's not just coming to the United Nations, but when you don't get this opportunity for, kind of places like this, you want to tap into every available resource where you go use for the advancement of your country. And that is what we continue to see the president doing. For everywhere where he don't go. In fact, I be like this speech where they can bring Cantona, where he talking at the UN, where he talks say Africa na the only continent where absent on the United Nations Security Council. And most of the decisions where the United Nations Security Council they take, they greatly affect Africa as a continent. I mean, I know one day hear any African leader talk like that, but everywhere where this president don't go during this trip, it just they try for gather resources for Sierra Leone. And now suddenly we get for see Bill Gates, get for engage in Sierra Leone, just like I don't talk. Now how they go work for surprise the whole world about the progress we then get for making a Sierra Leone. So I feel say the president they on the right track and they do the right things, right? And so my family with the country live from New York City. One for say plenty thank you to you for way they continue for watch we. Stick around with us. All right, so me family next what we get for do, we get for bring come the president in speechway again at the United Nations. Speechway very, very powerful, very important. And I feel say necessary for us to go watch that speech day for see exactly waiting the president say. So one from us stick around, so bring that speech to you now. Stick around with us.
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I request protocol to escort His Excellency.
Au nom de l'Assemblée générale,
On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honour to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Mr. Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
Chairman, colleagues, heads of state and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinct honor for me to address this august body for the very first time as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. On behalf of the government and people of Sierra Leone, I extend heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Ghana and the United Nations family on the passing of Kofi Atta Annan, former Secretary General of the United Nations. He served humanity and the world with distinction, and in our country's hour of need, he helped steer our nation out of deep abyss of seemingly intractable war. May his soul rest in perfect peace. He always showed us what is possible and what is best in humanity. Mr. Chairman, our commitment to building a peaceful and more secure world, as espoused in the United Nations Charter, as well as our commitment to the implementation of Agenda 2030, the Paris Agreement on climate change, and the ongoing reform processes of the United Nations resonate very well with the theme, making the United Nations relevant to all people, global leadership and shared responsibilities for peaceful, equitable, and sustainable societies. The work of the United Nations should continue to be guided by the values on which it was founded, including promoting peace, security, human rights, equality of all nations, and the promotion of social progress and better standards of life. In April this year, Sierra Leone registered their commitment to democratic governance with yet another peaceful transfer of power from an incumbent political power to the opposition. We acknowledge with humility the many messages of commendation from various parts of the world for conducting peaceful and credible presidential, parliamentary, and local council elections, which led to my election as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, we sincerely appreciate invaluable contributions of the international community in facilitating and monitoring our electoral process. We acknowledge the role of the United Nations and our development partners for supporting the successful conduct of those elections. We are a successful model of stable democracy, one that has evolved and matured in 20 years from chaos and lawlessness of civil conflict. But stable democracies must be sustained. Sierra Leoneans voted for a change of government. They voted for a new direction and the right direction. My government is ready to maximize our country's potential for development because we believe that development sustains emerging, successful, and stable democracies like ours. The international community has invested hugely in facilitating and stabilizing Sierra Leone's democracy. The international community must continue to play its role in sustaining Sierra Leone's democracy in collaboration with the government and people of Sierra Leone. In addition to our firm commitment to good governance and prudent and accountable management of our nation's resources, we are ready to foster a conducive and congenial environment for credible GDP growth. We call on our bilateral partners to help us deliver on the expectations of our people with development funds, technical assistance, and the cultivation of valuable trade links. We cordially invite all credible investors into an open and congenial investment environment where all your investments are guaranteed and protected by our relevant laws, and where we have worked assiduously to remove barriers to the investment. Help us to sustain our democracy. Mr. Chairman, this Assembly made a historic pledge during the World Summit held in 2005, a pledge to strengthen the United Nations with a view to enhancing its authority and efficiency, as well as its capacity to address effectively and in accordance with the purposes and principles of the Charter the full ranges of challenges of our time. A number of gains have been made, including the establishment of the Peace Building Commission and the Human Rights Council, and the adoption of the resolution on responsibility to protect. These gains are laudable, but the need for reform is urgent and imperative. We should now endeavor to demonstrate the political way to particularly redress the historical injustice done to the African continent. The present geopolitical realities are compelling for a comprehensive reform of the Security Council to make way for equitable representation in all organs of the United Nations. Africa is the only continent without representation in the permanent category of the Security Council. Africa is also underrepresented in the non-permanent category. Africa's demand for 2 permanent seats with all the rights and prerogatives of current members, including the right of veto and 2 additional non-permanent seats, is a matter of common justice, and the right to have an equal say in decision-making on issues that affect the Africa region. It is time that we addressed these long-standing injustice and imbalance perpetrated by the present configuration of the Security Council without any further delay. Africa is committed to the ongoing reforms that will make the United Nations fit for purpose in the 21st century. As the coordinator of the African Union Committee of 10 Heads of State and Government on the reform of the United Nations, we reiterate our concern over the continuous inaction of this body to adopt measures that will lead to Africa taking its rightful place in the Security Council. Unless and until we are able to contend with the reform of the Security Council, the most critical question of our day, our organization will be seemingly constituted on undemocratic and discriminatory principles. Let me reiterate the urgent need for comprehensive reform of the Security Council. 1.2 billion of the world's population of 7.5 billion are African. 1.2 billion of the world's population continues to contribute its fair share to maintaining world peace and security. About 70% of the decisions made at the UN Security Council ultimately affect those 1.2 billion Africans. Those 1.2 billion people are affected by over 70% of UN resolutions. 1.2 billion of the world population therefore ask why it should be excluded from representation on the United Nations Security Council. Those 1.2 billion people simply want their voices to be fully represented on the UN Security Council. Mr. Chairman, my government's blueprint document for moving our country forward, the new direction focuses on taking Sierra Leone beyond the phase of peace building and consolidation to firmly establishing a stable, peaceful, open, pluralistic democracy that is a responsible and committed member of the international community of nations. At the domestic level, my government has established priority areas, including job creation, access to quality education, youth empowerment, empowerment of women and the disabled, combating graft and corruption, fostering a culture of accountability and transparency, ensuring effective and efficient public service delivery, and strengthening civic responsibility and national cohesion. Guided by both our specific situation and sustainable development goals, our government initiative and policy actions involve strengthening our democratic institutions, opening up democratic spaces, promoting democratic dialogue, and creating a more just and equal society. We see these as precursors for sustainable growth of our economy and development as a nation. My government's economic and development policies, as I stated inter alia, create a congenial environment for credible private sector investment and entrepreneurship. We are eager to work with and listen to the private sector. Our policies are enabling and our investment framework is attractive. We can ensure the full legal protection of our investment, and we can ensure predictable and profitable revenue streams and returns on investment. Sierra Leone is at the beginning of adopting renewable energy. We now need public and private investment for commercial and industrial use, powering hotels, agriculture, and industrial use. My country is endowed with sufficient renewable energy resources in solar irradiation, coastal and offshore wind, mini hydro, and bioenergy. My government's target of 60% renewable energy capacity by 2030 is practicable, especially to generate growth in rural areas. Our country, like most developing countries, has been on the expensive and dirty liquid fuel treadmill since independence. My government is seeking international technical assistance and capacity building for migrating a percentage of my country's power generation away from heavy liquid fuel to natural gas trucked to site. My government is seeking collaboration between local companies and engineering companies from around the world. We believe that investment in renewable energy sources and LNG will help us meet SDG 7 by modernizing our energy generation systems, and this will have a multiplier effect in helping our country meet SDGs for poverty alleviation through job creation and increased investment, health delivery, water, and cities. We are determined to make Sierra Leone the renewable energy hub of the ECOWAS regional bloc. Our vision is good for our world's climate, good for foreign and local investors and development, and good for our country. My government has a bold vision for science, technology, and innovation. I have established the first Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation. We have a set of bold and achievable targets for 2025 for developing solid ICT infrastructure that will support graft-free governance and the delivery of effective, reliable, responsive, and transparent services from banking and business to education, agriculture extension, revenue collection, healthcare delivery, access to justice, governance, tourism, trade, and the rule of law. We have undertaken extensive reforms in line with the SDG 16 plus to create a peaceful, just, and inclusive Sierra Leone with resilient institutions. We are engaged in judicial and criminal justice reform and in collaboration with civil society and partner organizations. We continue to build on gains in justice delivery that take into account disparities in access to justice. We have launched a focused and sustained campaign against graft and waste and misuse of public funds. Our Revenue Authority has streamlined revenue collection and reduced tax evasion and theft. We have launched a free quality education program that provides access to basic through secondary education for the girl child and other children of school-going age. We are building, retooling, and opening up our governance, healthcare, financial, and other institutions to empower our women, young persons, the aged, and disabled compatriots. We are also reviewing discriminatory laws and practices and will engage communities in order to change traditional strictures that have excluded those persons. In particular, our young people, like young people all around the world, are energized and eager to make Sierra Leone a better place. Our development policies and priorities harness their vibrancy and direct it into targeted education and skills training, entrepreneurship, and strong civic participation. We are working towards a comprehensive biometric identification system that all citizens can fully participate in the economic and civic life of our nation. In particular, we acknowledge the support of the UNDP, Kiva, UNCDF in strengthening our national digital identification system. Their assistance modernizes our credit reference bureau, that we radically transform the financial inclusion landscape and the ease of doing business in our country. We are fully committed to promoting a free press, rescinding adversarial public order laws, and protecting and promoting the rights of citizens to know and to access information. We have instituted a National Civic Education Commission to further ensure the unrestricted participation of every Sierra Leonean in our stable democracy. For all of the foregoing, we need a constructive but intensive and sustained engagement with our bilateral partners and partner institutions. Mr. Chairman, my government is committed to increasing equitable access to quality health care for Sierra Leoneans. We call on bilateral partner organizations, private persons to help us invest in and also develop our critical institutions, technical, human resource capacity, as well as develop infrastructure that ensures the delivery of quality health care for all Sierra Leoneans. We recall with great appreciation the magnanimity of the world as we dealt with recent deadly epidemics like the Ebola virus disease and sustained intervention of our partners in helping us battle tropical diseases including malaria, cholera, and typhoid. We need more help in all those areas and in expanding and maintaining all immunization levels at 100%. My government has increased healthcare investment, but that will not be enough. We call on the international community to enhance our institutional and technical capacity for preventive health care and for managing public health and environmental sanitation issues, including waste management and storm drain water management in the urban areas. Sierra Leone welcomes the United Nations' renewed commitment to conflict prevention as embodied in its charter. The world more now than ever before needs a stronger United Nations and consistent and effective multilateralism that collectively ponders and cooperatively resolves mankind's common challenges from trade to climate change and from world security to our common humanity and our collective social and economic well-being. Our foreign policy should be driven by the golden rule: impartiality and cooperation. This is the only way humanity can respond effectively without hesitation to the global challenges that we all face today. We acknowledge the continued relevance of the Programme of Action and the International Tracing Instrument, which constitutes the global framework to prevent, combat, and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons in all aspects. We welcome the Secretary General's reform agenda in sustaining peace, including the effort to reform peacekeeping as one of the most effective tools available to the United Nations for peace and security. My government will bolster Sierra Leone's participation in the promotion and maintenance of international peace and security as a troop and police contributing country, and supporting the United Nations peacekeeping operations, especially with the deployment of formed units or contingents of both military and police. Sierra Leone stands ready to continue contributing to world peace and security. With a strong belief in a shared vision and a common destiny, Sierra Leone stands with the world in meeting the world's challenges. Sierra Leoneans equally look forward to the world for all the help the world can give to consolidate Sierra Leone into an economically developed, open, inclusive, and pluralistic democracy. We are one with a faith that wisdom inspires, one with a zeal that never tires. We are optimistic because our country stands ready on the threshold of the new direction. Thank you all for listening.
Yes, my family, of course. Now, this will be the talk about. That was the president at the United Nations General Assembly in New York City. Of course, what you don't just listen to, this is what I am talking about. This is the deal. Like how somebody just write, they say, this is the deal. You know, when a president appears at a podium, a global forum like this is what he is supposed to talk about. He spoke about Africa. He spoke for Africa. He spoke for Sierra Leone. He spoke about our democracy, our election, and the development agenda we get. You know, so that was very, very much appreciated. And by all standards, we all know, say, this speech here, so now one of the best speeches delivered by a sitting Sierra Leonean president at the United Nations General Assembly. And so, for that one, there will be the doubt Julius Maada Bio. When I go down clearly see now, say, this man is no joke. This is the man the country was waiting for Mexico can put this country back on where it belongs. And so, we all feel very proud today, all of us, Sierra Leoneans. If you mean well for your country, you should be happy. You should be proud of your country today, on this day, where the president give this kind of speech. I mean, when I hear whether they clap for him, where people then they give him applause, then they cheer for him. It means they agreed with what he talk, especially where it gives about 2 billion of the world population constitute Africans, and that Africa continues to be absent on the United Nations Security Council. And so why that? We say most of the decisions whether they make in that Security Council, they directly affect us as Africans. The people then clap for them for that one day. Look at all the items the way he give. All right? So some of us feel very proud today that our president is doing very well on this level, that it really, do so well. Apart from meeting with other leaders them around the globe, that the president is actually doing well as well with the messages that it pass on behalf of Sierra Leone. So that is a very good thing, and some of us continue to applaud him for that. All right? And so, me from them at this point, we get for try for see if we go connect with the town hall. Just like I would tell you now, we expect for talk to the Minister of Information and Communications, Mr. Mohamed Rado Soare. We get for talk to him live. We get for try for talk to the Chief Minister. We will try for talk to other stakeholders, other ministers, other key members of this government today. And of course, the president get for arrive very soon. Now the center, we'll say with Dave for Mexico, talk to the people them, Sierra Leoneans, for meet with them and talk to them. He is going to do that. All right. So one for me, you continue for stick around as we continue for bring the programs into you. Stick around with us.
If we learn to treat each other the way you want another person to treat you, it's a billions to genius. Peace. Love and harmony. Together we go and say peace, love and harmony. Wow.
Hello, me family. Of course, we come to una live from New York City. Of course, the president is about to arrive at the scene for start a town hall meeting for meet with Sierra Leoneans and talk with them. And so today, let me just give you an idea about what they go on at the United Nations in support of the president Julius Maada Bio and the new direction agenda for Sierra Leone. Thursday, September 27, 2018, which is today. They are asking Sierra Leoneans to show their support and appreciation for the transformative policies of the government of Sierra Leone. 9 o'clock, the president begin the assembly. He begin at the General Assembly Hall. He don't give a speech. Of course, now the speech I don't listen to just now. And so now, again for Dana Harlem Hospital Center Auditorium, 506 Lenox Avenue, Harlem, New York 10037, waiting near 135th Street. And if I don't start by 4 p.m., well, actually right now, the NEPA organized the place, the NEPA set up. And so the president go there. When now we'll talk to the presidential advisor, if they tell me say they're going to meet him. And so after that meeting, they go na the hall. So very soon that is going to happen. So they ask Sierra Leoneans there if they're around for go show you support, for they around listen to what the president get for say, and so that you will be part of it. And of course, also on Saturday, na Washington D.C. metro area, the president is going to be there. His Excellency retired Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Embassy of Sierra Leone and the Sierra Leonean diaspora meets with Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora. Saturday, September 29, 2018. 2018, and of course, they happened at the Marriott Hotel, 2660 Woodley Road, Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20008. For further information, you can call Mr. Solomon Shows, 240-441-1496. Mr. David Boake Vandi, 703-499-2892. Mr. Kalilu Tutangi, 410-979-424. Miss Bernadette Sankor Kamara, 301-346-4687. Miss Doreen Puawi, 240-535-9745. Mr. Francis A. Conte, 240-779-3660. Mr. Mohammed Ba, 202-251-6680. Miss Millie Terry, 301-556-6701. And Gila Shows at 301-346-6788. Or then go on for the all man sit down by 3:30 p.m. This now Washington D.C. where the president gets a town hall meeting. So my family, we just want for may you continue for day with we as we try for connect live with the town hall meeting hall in New York City where we are right now. All right, so stick around with us.
And there goes the motorcade. President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, and his wife and entourage has just been received by Sierra Leoneans here in New York, JFK. Now it's time for us to go. Thank you. Thank you, New York! Step back.
Come on, go. Yeah, come on, Oh! Clear come on, go. Clear come on,
family, we get for connect inside the hall right now. We are so sorry. We'll be get problem with the video connection, but we're gonna connect inside the hall right now. So stick around.
The longest man, his family, the ministry.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the hall, and so we are going to let you see for a little bit what we are doing here. All right? So, stick around. Join you now.
Okay.
All right, my family, just waiting with the see right now. Waiting to go on inside New York City. Of course, the president arrived at the hall for meet with Sierra Leoneans them. So we just want to give you a quick background as to waiting to go on. We get Geneva Koroma, where they inside the hall right now. It will give you a little bit of information about waiting to go on. So Geneva, you go give you an idea waiting to go on inside the hall right now.
Basically, the whole jam-packed full. A lot of people they clap and talk in favor of the current government.
Okay.
All the ministers are there to answer questions. They're basically at the house and now on top of the stage right now.
Okay. Okay.
The president and the wife.
Okay.
Why is there people that look free because it's like I in shop for the thing going on in the background right now.
Okay.
So everybody is enthusiastic about seeing the president, and as you can see, the room almost everybody there with green. So I don't think we're gonna have a lot of opposition.
Okay.
Look at the standing ovation right now that the president will get.
Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. So what we go do, Geneva? Okay. So Geneva then. Now for sure the crowd, let we capture this moment, then later we will talk about the interview. Yeah?
Why? Because
the
noise, the standing ovation is so much.
Right.
So much.
Yes. So let we capture the moment. Let we capture the moment. No problem. Yeah.
New direction. Our Chief Minister, Professor.
Yeah, but it don't look stiff. Okay, yes, I see. Right. All right, me family them. It look like say we get small problem with the connection. The connection don't actually go off right now, but we'll go try for see if we go able for bring that connection again. For able for bring and come up so that at least you go able for see waiting they happen inside New York. But waiting they see now where they go on at New York now. The president, His Excellency, Dr. Julius Maada Bio. Now, in don't go now, the all for talk to Sierra Leoneans after we don't do everything. So this is the final moment in New York. And then again for Camden, now Washington, D.C. for continue with the same program. And so this program, they continue with it again for Connect with Geneva. We now in the report, now in get for report for we from New York City, right? But a lot of problems there with the connection with the network, and so now that make you not able for bring the whole thing to you just yet. But don't worry, it's gonna happen. Even if we're not able to bring right now to you the way they expect, but we are expecting that things could be okay. So let's try again for connect with once more for see if we go able for connect with we. Now so na Sherix. Yes, me family them. You know, this is not just any Sierra Leonean will be very happy about waiting they go on now inside New York. Of course, this president, you see him for say it gets the country at heart. It gets the Sierra Leonean people at heart. Because for everything what they do, it ensures say they do them the right way. You know, they stand up for the people of Sierra Leone. They argue on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. They advocate on behalf of Sierra Leone. That is what is going on everywhere he goes. And so we just want for tell him plenty thank you and the government. They want to always work with them for the kind things and where they go on right about this time. So it look like say we still continue to get difficulties connecting with Geneva in New York, but we will continue for come up to now. We will continue for present the programs into now. And so let me see. I think say yes. I don't get a phone call here from the presidential advisor. He wants me to connect with. Okay, yes, I think he wants us to talk to Rado. He is on WhatsApp. So let me call him on WhatsApp. Yeah. We are going to do some connection here. That's the Minister of Information. We'll try for see if we'll go able to connect with him right now for see if we'll go able to talk to him exclusively on different things. Then let me see. We're not going to get him yet. Let me see what we can do here. All right. They say he's on WhatsApp. So let me see if I can find him on WhatsApp. Ladies and gentlemen, when I you know, just bear with me. And today I will get for do this together. All right. Yes, he has come on, but he said he's busy. So let me see if I can able to call him right now. Yeah, in phone the ring. So let's see what is going to happen. All right, and so my family want to stick around as we continue for bring the programs to you right here on Sheriff's Broadcast Network. All right, stick around with us.
to our country mama salon and vow to serve her faithfully at all times and put our interests above all else. We can always succeed if we learn to treat each other the way you want another person to treat you. It's a billionaires, the genius. Peace. Love and harmony. Together we go with day. Peace, love and harmony.
Yes, me family, Sheriff's Broadcast Network coming to you live from New York City. Of course, one for tell una plenty thank you for all that they hang out with we. Of course, right now, the president they inside New York, they meet with Sierra Leoneans. Of course, then they now a town hall meeting. You know, say any side where this president go, they always want for meet with Salon people them. So now that's the going right now inside New York. The same thing get for happen inside Washington DC on Saturday, and of course we get for try for bring that one they come to una live. Of course, at this point, we try for see how if we go able to connect with some key stakeholders na New York. Of course, but the president gave dip and speak. So at this point, we're not going able for bring that one day to una. But immediately wait and the try for finish. We go try for see if we go able for bring some ask them some questions that are relevant. Questions then we then go able for answer. And so we'll try for see if we go able for bring that toner today. But today, a very good day for we all, Sierra Leoneans, wherever you are, you should be happy that we are having this day, that our president has made a very powerful speech at the United Nations General Assembly. And of course, it don't meet with key world leaders, them. They don't also meet with world philanthropists, them people that way they help other countries, they especially would say not developing countries, them, They don't meet with Bill Gates, George Soros, plenty other people that we don't meet with. So, and all the inside and they don't promote the idea about Sierra Leone very seriously. So it is very possible that a good thing will come out of this very visit where the president don't visit United States. Of course, for all the cynics, then we be the doubt say Madabio go kind of United States, he has made it over here and it make him big. Now they call triumphant entry. You not get one problem because it don't do homework. They say when a child washes his hands clean, he can eat with canes. So this Maya, even though not a Pekin, but if we don't wash his hand clean the same way in a Pekin, and so that is what we see happening right about this time. So one for let you continue for stick around with we as we try again for connect with Geneva now the studio for see if we go able for bring some live coverages over to you, right? So one for me, stick around with us right now. Before we actually bring the live coverage to you again, let me see the mayor of Freetown, how it go out there. Plenty of you don't see this video on social media, but I will just see that video where the first lady, the mayor of Freetown City, Yvonne Akisoya, we go, they talk to market women, and for me they understand about the changes they will get for come, they get for move people then from certain areas then, especially the area what they call the Central Business District, when at the CBD, then at Wooside government concentrate, Wooside all the government ministries, then they, people then they sit down on the street and they sell, they want pull people and come out, but it not just grab, it go bulldoze them, then get for build market for them, and you don't begin sensitize them, for say then get for come make that moves there. So let us see that one the whites will try for connect back with the hall in New York. All right, stick around.
Market is not attractive for let person come. Not forget what I say. Man no go dey pan trading till he die. If you the trade self, then one the way you born, let them get work. So where you want for make work come, you can forget the plan. Alright? So now the plan that this one will do so. You know sometimes you get for take small pain for let you see tomorrow better. Una when I come brown, I know that. Una know that. When una the old pikin. It's not easy, the waking and net, picking the cry, not easy. But you suffer because tomorrow that thing they go team up. I go team up for you. So this one will do so. And they say November, we get for a big program. We start first with music, where we bring overseas people and come. December, we get for get one man, where the Canaya, where na from UK they come. But what they can do, they come then say, I can look funny, but you know they understand the impact. They come with one small boat, in one grain, then he ship the boats come. In the car with plane. Then from Freetown, he get for go inside that boat there. You don't get engine, like Pampa no more, it roll with hand. It go 2 months till he reach West Indies, Jamaica, then place then the Guyana and there they go. Waiting that thing go do. It go make people then get interested in Freetown. What's this Freetown? So they get forget Boku coverage. Before that the be, we get for organize the city. If we not look now, but in tune, I go see we make that garden. What did I do? If I want go strictly by waiting the bylaws say, I go say, oh man, come on a street. Yeah. Now that's the bylaw. But I not say that. I say, una come out na the CBD because we try for do something and now we all go benefit in the end where the thing come out fine. All right? Central government Sept don't put the eye on tourism, then they promote them. The vice president tell me then they say, then they work now for not possible where they come out overseas camp. Then they not get for buy visa before they come. They're all for encourage people them for camp. But when they come, the place for decent. So the plan not 2 phases. Phase 1, let we go Sept Street, Regent Street, let we come on at the CBD. All them buildings there, I get for right to everybody. All man get for paint. Then get for put flower front. Like how UTB did. I get for right to them all. Because when you go see the CBD, it's for fine for look. When person in the kind of country, not to beach no more than they go. I see where you want to talk, but I tell you and say that the position is and it's non-negotiable. So no talk, no get for talk behind this one. Alright? And then make I go behind. Make I explain, like when I get the idea of what I do. Okay? So now 2 things them I want to remember. Number 1, the people that we don't submit, then don't do the submission to procurement for let we build 7 markets. This one not to wear an asset. So in order for kind, we were able to move as council fast. Alright? So the market, none of the main plan. Because I've been always tell una, for let una they understand, una they under rain. There's more picking than day, even then there's a Monday, we get a meeting, we go with the minister where free education starts, quality education. Me and the minister, I join them for go watch them schools them. Where we go to one primary school, we see them small picking, and I tell minister, as minister, I don't tell you, but I'll remind you back. I say we don't put that plan for the market. Every market will the bill, it will get aside for the small picking them. Yeah. When not picking them, when not begin go school yet go day. Then go begin get the learning before then go school. So now the plans and they want them there. This one na months, not 2 years business. Alright? But we get for do all man get for the Sept people they like tell you now. Then serve now enough bell now get for bell them. Because now they place no anybody first to not call me. Then we don't agree. Okay, the way how I talk to them, and that's how I talk to them back. I say for let we all better tomorrow. Let we all inconvenient small today. Me self the work while the work. Ask them now. All out look the traders council all hour within that work. All hour. I don't get Saturday, I don't get Sunday. Like we no more. We all know. We work 7 days a week. But we try for do something we go bring a difference. So me sister them, me auntie them, me mama them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's now the mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Akisoya. Now, he talking and he try for convince the market woman them with the Sudan at the Central Business District, when at the CBD for making for say they get for can move them come out, but then they just move them, they can build markets for them. Who said they will get for move them. So there is a plan already before moving the people, but the center of the city get for be clean, it get for be clear, it get for be for people that really can do business now Freetown. So now that they talk to the people there about. Obviously, we get problem with the video connection. Now the hall outside the president they talk right now. But we will get for talk to Geneva Way in the reports for Sheriff's Broadcast Network today na New York for let we go able for see waiting the president talk about and waiting get for happen. So they can connect with and live from New York City. They also try for connect with the Minister of Information and Communications, Mr. Mohamed Rado Soare, for let we go talk about waiting the information we go able for pass on to UNA, the Sierra Leonean people, about the president in trip na the United States. We get for talk on that as well. And so for now, we just want for let we talk about other things then whilst we wait for that to happen. So please stick around with us as we make that happen. All right, stick around.
Anytime you pass and put market, it's not attractive for let person come. Not forget what you say. Man no go dey pan trade until he die. If you the trade self, then one day when you born, let them get work. Yes. So when you want for make work come, you can forget the plan. All right.
And so, me fun with them. So now that's nice. And the other thing we want to talk about, just bring you some pictures about waiting the president. I mean, how the president entered New York and waiting happen. Let me just see that. I'm very sorry, that's not what we wanted to bring you. But let's bring that to you right now so that you're able to see what we are exclusively talking about. Right here, right? Okay, so this is the president and the first lady in Sierra Leone. The guy you see inside the coat here now, one of the Secret Service officers. Of course, the first lady again, being flanked by this Secret Service officer, so that they are well protected. That is what is going on. The Secret Service guy, they behind them. That's the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We can America then get the responsibility for protect him. That's the president in the United Nations building. Right now, the United Nations General Assembly Hall. They right there in New York, because all world leaders are seated in that hall, listening to each other as they talk on key issues. Of course, you see the chief minister they behind they behind the president. Of course, Nike always sit on behind them strategically. For anything, this is not the president, and then are the goalkeepers, now Bill Gates Foundation with David Sengen, and Bill Gates. They are talking on how waiting at the help that we Sierra Leone need at this point. Of course, the president don't articulate himself on that very well. So this is the president and the ambassador to the United Nations. We see the under the time we come. Of course, the president again. Because at the Bill Gates Goalkeepers Foundation, as you can tell over there, of course, at the Simi man, Dr. P.K. Mwana is over there as well with Nabila Tunis, the old lady. Of course, you can see the president is interacting with other people. The first lady is also interacting with other world leaders as well. That's the president right there interacting with some stakeholders of the Bill Gates Foundation. Of course, we have the other lady out there. These are all world leaders, dignitaries serving in various, political and humanitarian foundations. First lady and the president. Of course, Mr. Dr. Kande Kolem Kila is there as well. The chief minister is flanking them out there, because the president again looking very presidential, by visits na New York. Because Namawa no see no more where they laugh, but he don't smile now, so that they send a very clear message. Of course, Dr. P.K. Mwana once more is here. Yes, so that is exactly what the whole thing is about. The president is in New York City doing things on behalf of the country. And so this na the kind picture that we all man can like for see. You will elect your country, you want for see pictures like this, where they come out in this style. You want to see it, and you want to definitely use it, right? So at this point, we are going to continue to come to you, and we want for you to stick around as we continue to bring you the program. Stick around with us.
Hey, hey, hold your book and pen. Body man, so you know go they depend. You know what I'm talking about? And I get me brothers and I with me. We can't talk about importance to go school.
Yeah, pick up your bag and go school. No worry for the fees, then send a free for go school. Yeah, mommy send you picking go school. If you not get lunch, free bomber day na school. Yeah, when you picking begin go school. When you can house, make you show you waiting them in a school. Yeah, as the thing go, they go, let we watch, see if government do waiting, they say them go do.
Free education. Power, power. Say we picking the foundation. Power, power. Say we can't get that. For the get that. Education is the key to buy for poverty. Because it's the future.
When the bubble go school, mama, you don't hear me kill it in future bright, yeah. When the titi go school, wallahi, you don't free, no man, no go mass by right, yeah. Send you picking go school, so we go fed to go when the future go just be bright, yeah. Like book, not the secret, not the key, we go end poverty, not the ghetto.
When the titi go school, it no go depend per man for you and too much. And if the bubble go school, it no go take gun work and a net for broken ones. You no go need for go big till you compete them. You can't you compete with other continent. You go able not chest any side way call for boost your morale and confidence.
Titina for land book, no pizza coco. But no make big fool like you not that go. Money in the net, you just they go fen. Instead of quick change, you only book and pen. Land out for freedom, right? Life not to all the time, bruh. But weed and dice, free education, you know go pay penny. For planning, Sabbath get for day, plenty.
Opportunity there now for go school free. Let me use them well to advantage. The reason not there for make you no go school. Rather not for make yourself useful. If you go school, not for yourself no more. Salon where we all like some benefit. You can be lawyer, you can be doctor. Anything we go make some benefit. Cause no time, now for change your ways. Now come round on the pay school fee again. Okay, lunch every day. Now for send me booking, go school. No care what I for send, go school. No fall about party then, go school. Okay, and to only marry, go school. Oh yeah.
When the bubble go school, mama, you don't hear me kill it in future bright, yeah. When the titi go school, wallahi, you don't free, no man, no go mass by right, yeah. Send you picking go school, so we go fed to go and the future go just be bright, yeah. Like book, not the secret, not the key, we go end poverty, not the ghetto.
Education for me free, so who that deserve them. So now when I free, everybody for grab them. Not go school for eat, cause I free then they serve them. That money we can spend for fees, reserve them. That picky where they sell, na street for commodity. More youth for land instead of why you go body. For succeed, now you battle with for fight. Education are you weapon, power now you right. You, who is the president of Sierra Leone?
President Musa Baka.
Well, you see, we really need this free education. Sissy.
When the Bobo go school, salon go better. Education not the answer. Yeah, when it's in go school, woman for land book, not to kitchen, no money for chocolate. Mama and Papa Jane, if you can get better day. No make let them call you follow education now.
No more excuse, I no get school fee. Pop for go school, education are free. Illiteracy bad, education are key. It don't say what we blind, but now we the same. Now I can get book sense, develop my country, not to pass a fly go overseas. Education are the key, it can open doors. Your favorite rapper land book, look me the great balls. Forget your color or your party, no worry about expenses. Education are free. Grab good school and learn. Make them all of it tomorrow and say, Lord, if the belly complain, well, bomb a day. No worry about school fees,
none free.
Members say education gets better pay. So go school for tomorrow, go be okay.
When the bubble go school, mama, you don't hear me kill it in future bright, yeah. When the titi go school, wallahi, you don't free, no man, no go mass by right, yeah. Send you picking go school, so we go fed to go and the future go just be bright, yeah. Like book, not the secret, not the key, we go end poverty, not the ghetto.
right, ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff's Broadcast Network coming to you live and direct from Houston, Texas. Actually, we are coming to you today from New York. Of course, right now, we know we want to talk about this British parliamentarian way they don't do on social media, they talk plenty. But before they even go to that, we just want to say the whole Wusai, the president, they can talk right now, the network is very difficult to forget now the whole. And so hopefully we are going to make a proper planning for Washington, D.C., because this don't become a lesson to we. The network very poor. So we're not able to do connection between the mobile studio setup and inside the hall for able for bring cam the live picture or video of waiting the president they talk on right now from New York. And so with the wait for later on they done, so we're able to talk to the Minister of Information and to talk to Geneva with the report for we, so you're able to tell we exactly waiting at the reports waiting at the talks and where the president talk inside New York. We get for bring that one they come to now. But meanwhile, I will talk about Neil Coyle, where the British MP where they represent Badmose and Old Southwark in United Kingdom, where now they plenty of Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters then based. So say if we don't talk about how Sierra Leonean life matter, for say there is political violence and intimidation they go on at the country, and that therefore stop that. Well, let me just see what he talk first of all before we even go to that. Stick around. Conduct of the presidential and parliamentary elections in Sierra Leone, members of the former ruling All People's Congress government have consistently refused to accept that they lost that election and that they are no longer at the helm of power in the country. As for many people who are familiar with the history of politics in Sierra Leone, they have always associated multiple political tactics that are often deployed by members of the All People's Congress or the APC during electioneering processes with the intention to either rig elections or turn election results in their favor. However, those tactics may have woefully failed the APC in the just concluded national elections. Notwithstanding, members of the APC seem not to still believe they are lost. Instead, they have resorted to very different tactics by claiming that supporters of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party are engaged in human rights violations in the form of political violence and intimidation against members of the APC. And they seem to have succeeded in employing a notable figure who is helping them fabricate that message. He is a British parliamentarian representing Badmose and Old Southwark. Honorable Neil Coyle, who seems to know little or nothing about the internal politics of Sierra Leone, has been all over the place helping the APC with their futile allegations of human rights violations in Sierra Leone. What is abysmal in Honorable Neil Coyle's ranting on social media is his lack of knowledge over what members of the APC he is so boldly aligning himself with have perpetrated on innocent Sierra Leoneans for over 34 years. Inasmuch as Sierra Leoneans are determined to forget about their past and move forward, but Honorable Neil Coyle seems to need some education on the party he is aligning himself with. Honorable Neil Coyle does not know that the APC created reasons for the outbreak of an 11-year brutal civil war in the country that killed 50,000 Sierra Leoneans and displaced over 2 million. Honorable Neil Coyle does not know that it is only under the APC regime that the people of Sierra Leone suffer intimidation, violence, and death. Under an APC regime, Sierra Leone becomes the most corrupt country in the world at the bottom of the Human Development Index, where education is not a right but a privilege, where people die of minor illnesses due to poor healthcare facilities, where Sierra Leoneans go to bed hungry. Under the APC regime, tribalism, regionalism, nepotism, greed and selfishness climax to the peak. So for an honorable man like Neil Coyle to put his credibility on the line for a party like the APC is paradoxical. people wonder why such a man may want to taint his own credibility with such futile action. It came to Sierra Leoneans as a surprise to wake up one morning and see Honorable Nikoi ranting all over social media with an allegation of human rights violations in Sierra Leone. Many Sierra Leoneans want to know when last Honorable Nikoi visited Sierra Leone and witnessed the so-called human rights violations. What practical evidence does he have to justify or verify his claims? Or is that another APC tactics? Don't get it wrong. There are very honest, patriotic, and well-meaning Sierra Leoneans who are APC members. We know many of them. Sierra Leoneans would like to send a message to Honorable Nikoi that they have a bottom line. And that bottom line is that they elected a new president and a new government in a transparent and credible election. And until after 5 years before another general elections are held in the country. The country is now focused on fighting corruption, making education every Sierra Leonean's right and not a privilege, trying to feed its people, working on reliable healthcare, creating employment, revamping the economy, and putting Sierra Leone back to its glorious days. Sierra Leoneans ask Honorable Nikoi to help the country focus on its future and not to contribute to its demise again. Ibrahim Sheriff, Sheriff's Broadcast Network. All right, and so me family now that piece we been get on Honorable Nikoi. We be there on social media. They say, oh, political violence, political intimidation. They for stop and a salon. We be saying not even travel go to the country for see or for show who say this political intimidation. They will say this violence. They wear that T-shirt. They say Sierra Leone life matter. So the presidential advisor and head of the strategic communications na State House, when Dr. Patrick Kugwe Mwana we get for response to him. And so let us listen to that response in Sept. Let us see waiting is say exactly. All right, stick around.
Presidential Advisor and Head of Strategic Communications, Dr. Patrick Kmuana, Ph.D., writes. Headline: Neil Coyle and his associates. The British High Commission in Sierra Leone has first-hand knowledge of, and therefore has raised no concerns about the governance and human rights records of this administration. The British government continues to be fully engaged with the Sierra Leonean government and continues 100% support of the government's flagship programs of free education and human capital development, governance and security reforms, healthcare and rural development, and productive trade and investment relationships. Member of Parliament Neil Coyle is welcome to Sierra Leone to gather first-hand information about the human rights situation in the country. Sierra Leone is safe and at peace after a peaceful election and transfer of power. Honorable Neil Coyle is welcome to travel to Sierra Leone and point out where these so-called political prisoners are being kept and where the security and other forces are intimidating and executing political opponents as he claims. As a member of the British Parliament, I am sure he recognizes that his integrity matters. The Sierra Leonean government would offer to pay for his travel and welfare and provide security while he is in Sierra Leone. Indeed, Sierra Leonean lives matter. Instead of repeating baseless and sensational untruths that sully the image and reputation of Sierra Leone and its government and make the country unattractive to investors, Mr. Neil Coyle should be working to promote investment and trade in Sierra Leone, which will have the knock-on effect of promoting job creation. Thus, Neil Coyle would contribute to consolidating the financially stable, open, transparent, and accountable democracy that President Julius Maada Bio's New Direction government has instituted for the last 6 months. More investment and a stronger economy is best for all Sierra Leoneans. Sierra Leonean lives do matter, and you can contribute to making Sierra Leonean lives matter. By Dr. Patrick Kamuana, PhD Presidential Advisor and Head of Strategic Communications.
Right, so that was the presidential advisor to His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, when a Dr. Patrick K. Mwana, na in we get forgi, and also in at the head of the Strategic Communications Department at State House, na ingi that warning to Honorable Nekoy in England. And so, me family them, we are still here waiting. I get for open the lines now in case you want for profile your views on anything, you want for say something today on this show. We can open the lines now for make you go able for call and say something about with president. Okay, I know say plenty people and they out there they want for call and say something. So we are going to make that a possible right about this time. And so we want for make you go, try for call we. That number, now let me just see. The number I get for appear now. Then the number that one day, you can able for call that number right now and we can able for talk to you directly. All right? So wherever you are, you want to call us, go ahead and give us a call and let us start talking about our country. Whilst we wait for, let we able for see if we're able for interview any of the ministers or anybody from the hall. So the numbers are up there. Feel free to give me a call. Very, very important. All right. Let me see. I can't even know how they want me to go outside and talk. Yes. All right. So what we're trying to do here is to connect with somebody in the hall, in the hall, and it's guy for let we do something. That we don't lock the hall, nobody not be the left, and there was so much noise in the hall that you wait inside, you're not going to for give any talk. So we waiting at the studio, we're not going to go inside. So it's like the president is highly protected in New York. So not to all man or more they go inside that hall, and not to all man they come out like that. Right? So that make it kind of a little difficult for we. But the number they out there, and we can able for talk on that number right now. So my family wanna stick around as we continue for bring the programs to you. Yeah, so we try for connect with Cheneba inside the hall for make you go give some updates on what is going on. I think say she's making her way outside of the hall right now for make you go able for talk to we exclusively. And so we just want for make you go stay tight as would it make that possible, for Geneva go talk to we. But for now, in case you want to make a call, go ahead and call and we'll be able to talk to you exclusively. If you're not a Sierra Leonean, you want to make a call for say something on this day, go ahead and make that call. We'll be ready to receive you and to put it live. All right? Very important. Let me see. Somebody's trying to reach me here. Okay. Yeah, let's see how we can make that possible. Okay. Yeah, it's still very tough for her. She cannot come outside. So we would expect, either the minister or the president for actually come inside the studio and, hang out with we. But I don't feel say we'll get for able to do that. We'll be one for let Brad come, let us sit down. So that we'll be able to talk to them candidly about waiting at the things that will go on. But so we found with today a big day for we all, as we President Day inside New York. They don't give the speech now, the General Assembly in New York, and of course they talk to Sierra Leoneans now inside New York as well. Now tomorrow, Friday, again for the inside Washington DC. Then Saturday, it go get a town hall meeting in DC. So that's going to happen, right? So let's see. Geneva cannot talk to us right now because according to her, she is not having the time to be able to talk to anybody at this point. But anyway, for them one that we not been there, the speech with the president begin at Parliament. We'll go bring to you again one small for let you see what our speech is, because I think say a very necessary for let we all know what's in the president the way it is. So let us see that speech once more. All right. Why should they wait for let people then call? Let us see waiting the president be say to we. Now we've been talking about now the United Nations General Assembly. Stick around.
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I request protocol to escort His Excellency.
Au nom de l'Assemblée générale,
on behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honour to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Mr. Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
Mr. Chairman, colleagues, heads of state and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinct honor for me to address this august body for the very first time as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. On behalf of the government and people of Sierra Leone, I extend heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Ghana and the United Nations family on the passing of Kofi Atta Annan, former Secretary General of the United Nations. He served humanity and the world with distinction, and in our country's hour of need, he helped steer our nation out of deep abyss of seemingly intractable war. May his soul rest in perfect peace. He always showed us what is possible and what is best in humanity. Mr. Chairman, our commitment to building a peaceful and more secure world, as espoused in the United Nations Charter, as well as our commitment to the implementation of Agenda 2030, the Paris Agreement on climate change, and the ongoing reform processes of the United Nations resonate very well with the theme, making the United Nations relevant to all people, global leadership and shared responsibilities for peaceful, equitable, and sustainable societies. The work of the United Nations should continue to be guided by the values on which it was founded, including promoting peace, security, human rights, equality of all nations, and the promotion of social progress and better standards of life. In April this year, Sierra Leone registered their commitment to democratic governance with yet another peaceful transfer of power from an incumbent political power to the opposition. We acknowledge with humility the many messages of commendation from various parts of the world for conducting peaceful and credible presidential, parliamentary, and local council elections, which led to my election as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, we sincerely appreciate invaluable contributions of the international community in facilitating and monitoring our electoral process. We acknowledge the role of the United Nations and our development partners for supporting the successful conduct of those elections. We are a successful model of stable democracy, one that has evolved and matured in 20 years from chaos and lawlessness of civil conflict. But stable democracies must be sustained. Sierra Leoneans voted for a change of government. They voted for a new direction and the right direction. My government is ready to maximize our country's potential for development because we believe that development sustains emerging, successful, and stable democracies like ours. The international community has invested hugely in facilitating and stabilizing Sierra Leone's democracy. The international community must continue to play its role in sustaining Sierra Leone's democracy in collaboration with the government and people of Sierra Leone. In addition to our firm commitment to good governance and prudent and accountable management of our nation's resources, we are ready to foster a conducive and congenial environment for credible GDP growth. We call on our bilateral partners to help us deliver on the expectations of our people with development funds, technical assistance, and the cultivation of valuable trade links. We cordially invite all credible investors into an open and congenial investment environment where all your investments are guaranteed and protected by our relevant laws and where we have worked assiduously to remove barriers to the investment. Help us to sustain our democracy. Mr. Chairman, this Assembly made a historic pledge during the World Summit held in 2005, a pledge to strengthen the United Nations with a view to enhancing its authority and efficiency, as well as its capacity to address effectively and in accordance with the purposes and principles of the Charter the full ranges of challenges of our time. A number of gains have been made, including the establishment of the Peace Building Commission and the Human Rights Council, and the adoption of the resolution on responsibility to protect. These gains are laudable, but the need for reform is urgent and imperative. We should now endeavor to demonstrate the political will to particularly redress the historical injustice done to the African continent. The present geopolitical realities are compelling for a comprehensive reform of the Security Council to make way for equitable representation in all organs of the United Nations. Africa is the only continent without representation in the permanent category of the Security Council. Africa is also underrepresented in the non-permanent category. Africa's demand for 2 permanent seats with all the rights and prerogatives of current members, including the right of veto and 2 additional non-permanent seats, is a matter of common justice and the right to have an equal say in decision-making on issues that affect the Africa region. It is time that we addressed these long-standing injustice and imbalance perpetrated by the present configuration of the Security Council without any further delay. Africa is committed to the ongoing reforms that will make the United Nations fit for purpose in the 21st century. As the coordinator of the African Union Committee of 10 heads of state and government on the reform of the United Nations, we reiterate our concern over the continuous inaction of this body to adopt measures that will lead to Africa taking its rightful place in the Security Council. Unless and until we are able to contend with the reform of the Security Council, the most critical question of our day, our organization will be seemingly constituted on undemocratic and discriminatory principles. Let me reiterate the urgent need for comprehensive reform of the Security Council. 1.2 billion of the world's population of 7.5 billion are African. 1.2 billion of the world's population continues to contribute its fair share to maintaining world peace and security. About 70% of the decisions made at the UN Security Council ultimately affect those 1.2 billion Africans. Those 1.2 billion people are affected by over 70% of UN resolutions. 1.2 billion of the world population therefore ask why it should be excluded from representation on the United Nations Security Council. Those 1.2 billion people simply want their voices to be fully represented on the UN Security Council. Mr. Chairman, my government's blueprint document for moving our country forward, the new direction focuses on taking Sierra Leone beyond the phase of peace building and consolidation to firmly establishing a stable, peaceful, open, pluralistic democracy that is a responsible and committed member of the international community of nations. At the domestic level, my government has established priority areas, including job creation, access to quality education, youth empowerment, empowerment of women and the disabled, combating graft and corruption, fostering a culture of accountability and transparency, ensuring effective and efficient public service delivery, and strengthening civic responsibility and national cohesion. Guided by both our specific situation and sustainable development goals, our government initiative and policy actions involve strengthening our democratic institutions, opening up democratic spaces, promoting democratic dialogue, and creating a more just and equal society. We see these as precursors for sustainable growth of our economy and development as a nation. My government's economic and development policies, as I stated inter alia, create a congenial environment for credible private sector investment and entrepreneurship. We are eager to work with and listen to the private sector. Our policies are enabling and our investment framework is attractive. We can ensure the full legal protection of our investment, and we can ensure predictable and profitable revenue streams and returns on investment. Sierra Leone is at the beginning of adopting renewable energy. We now need public and private investment for commercial and industrial use, powering hotels, agriculture, and industrial use. My country is endowed with sufficient renewable energy resources in solar irradiation, coastal and offshore wind, mini hydro, and bioenergy. My government's target of 60% renewable energy capacity by 2030 is practicable, especially to generate growth in rural areas. Our country, like most developing countries, has been on the expensive and dirty liquid fuel treadmill since independence. My government is seeking international technical assistance and capacity building for migrating a percentage of my country's power generation away from heavy liquid fuel to natural gas trucked to site. My government is seeking collaboration between local companies and engineering companies from around the world. We believe that investment in renewable energy sources and LNG will help us meet SDG 7 by modernizing our energy generation systems, and this will have a multiplier effect in helping our country meet SDGs for poverty alleviation through job creation and increased investment, health delivery, water, and cities. We are determined to make Sierra Leone the renewable energy hub of the ECOWAS regional bloc. Our vision is good for our world's climate, good for foreign and local investors and development, and good for our country. My government has a bold vision for science, technology, and innovation. I have established the first Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation. We have a set of bold and achievable targets for 2025 for developing solid ICT infrastructure that will support graft-free governance and the delivery of effective, reliable, responsive, and transparent services from banking and business to education, agriculture extension, revenue collection, healthcare delivery, access to justice, governance, tourism, trade, and the rule of law. We have undertaken extensive reforms in line with the SDG 16 Plus to create a peaceful, just, and inclusive Sierra Leone with resilient institutions. We are engaged in judicial and criminal justice reform and in collaboration with civil society and partner organizations. We continue to build on gains in justice delivery that take into account disparities in access to justice. We have launched a focused and sustained campaign against graft and waste and misuse of public funds. Our Revenue Authority has streamlined revenue collection and reduced tax evasion and theft. We have launched a free quality education program that provides access to basic through secondary education for the girl child and other children of school-going age. We are building, retooling, and opening up our governance, healthcare, financial, and other institutions to empower our women, young persons, the aged, and disabled compatriots. We are also reviewing discriminatory laws and practices and will engage communities in order to change traditional strictures that have excluded those persons. In particular, our young people, like young people all around the world, are energized and eager to make Sierra Leone a better place. Our development policies and priorities harness their vibrancy and direct it into targeted education and skills training, entrepreneurship, and strong civic participation. We are working towards a comprehensive biometric identification system that all citizens can fully participate in the economic and civic life of our nation. In particular, we acknowledge the support of the UNDP, Kiva, UNCDF in strengthening our national digital identification system. Their assistance modernizes our credit reference bureau, that we radically transform the financial inclusion landscape and the ease of doing business in our country. We are fully committed to promoting a free press, rescinding adversarial public order laws, and protecting and promoting the rights of citizens to know and to access information. We have instituted a National Civic Education Commission to further ensure the unrestricted participation of every Sierra Leonean in our stable democracy. For all of the foregoing, we need a constructive but intensive and sustained engagement with our bilateral partners and partner institutions. Mr. Chairman, my government is committed to increasing equitable access to quality health care for Sierra Leoneans. We call on bilateral partner organizations, private persons to help us invest in and also develop our critical institutions, technical, human resource capacity, as well as develop infrastructure that ensures the delivery of quality health care for all Sierra Leoneans. We recall with great appreciation the magnanimity of the world as we dealt with recent deadly epidemics like the Ebola virus disease and sustained intervention of our partners in helping us battle tropical diseases including malaria, cholera, and typhoid. We need more help in all those areas and in expanding and maintaining all immunization levels at 100%. My government has increased healthcare investment, but that will not be enough. We call on the international community to enhance our institutional and technical capacity for preventive health care and for managing public health and environmental sanitation issues, including waste management and storm drain water management in the urban areas. Sierra Leone welcomes the United Nations' renewed commitment to conflict prevention as embodied in its charter. The world more now than ever before needs a stronger United Nations and consistent and effective multilateralism that collectively ponders and cooperatively resolves mankind's common challenges, from trade to climate change and from world security to our common humanity and our collective social and economic well-being. Our foreign policy should be driven by the golden rule: impartiality and cooperation. This is the only way humanity can respond effectively without hesitation to the global challenges that we all face today. We acknowledge the continued relevance of the Programme of Action and the International Tracing Instrument, which constitutes the global framework to prevent, combat, and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons in all aspects. We welcome the Secretary General's reform agenda in sustaining peace, including the effort to reform peacekeeping as one of the most effective tools available to the United Nations for peace and security. My government will bolster Sierra Leone's participation in the promotion and maintenance of international peace and security as a troop and police contributing country and supporting the United Nations peacekeeping operations, especially with the deployment of formed units or contingents of both military and police. Sierra Leone stands ready to continue contributing to world peace and security. With a strong belief in a shared vision and a common destiny, Sierra Leone stands with the world in meeting the world's challenges. Sierra Sierra Leoneans equally look forward to the world for all the help the world can give to consolidate Sierra Leone into an economically developed, open, inclusive, and pluralistic democracy. We are one with a faith that wisdom inspires, one with a zeal that never tires. We are optimistic because our country stands ready on the threshold of the new direction. Thank you all for listening.
Yes, me family, of course, that was the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio. Of course, he talked today at the United Nations General Assembly. That is the second time in this program that we have brought that video to you. I mean, when you're not Sierra Leonean, you listen to the President where they give that speech. You cannot help but feel patriotic, feel a sense of belonging, feel like I say you get a president who care about you. So this is a very, very important thing today what the president do. And the president talk on behalf of Africa, talk on behalf of Sierra Leone, talk on behalf of human race. It commits Sierra Leone to helping the United Nations for peace building efforts all over the world by, giving police and military for men and go help, and a talk on plenty other things. So this president make I feel so good about Sierra Leone. This is the Sierra Leone that most of us, we know Sierra Leone to be, a country where focused, a country where they among in company, they feel dignified, they feel like I say, you get value, you're not mortar man, not like before. And so with all them people they are, so when the president they try for gather together for me to help this country, if they all put their efforts together, we get to see a fast track of development of the country. We get to see things that get to happen so rapidly for we in our country. So we all for the pray. All that confusion with people that kidnap, where they want for say confusion, they want for beginning cause unnecessary noise. Especially, this was the spokesman for the so-called concerned Sierra Leoneans, where be they in New York, where they try for call all man for men they can't demonstrate, men they can't do this, men they do that. I mean, I don't see any reason for that. Like where Anes by Kroma been take over the reins of power in Sierra Leone, where it talks they run the country as a business. Then they will all be like that talk there, because when somebody talk like that, it really mean business. But then will not be no say they do business for himself, not for we. So that's a whole different story. But that was His Excellency retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio in New York. He talked to the United Nations General Assembly. He just don't finish for talk to Sierra Leoneans in New York. And according to reporters, they say the place not being very organized, and so they're not able for receive, for get the kind, organization, whatever they feel, so they will get the network inside the place poor, so we're not able for do connections directly, and so now we are gearing up for Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. metro area, of course, we'll get for day live on Saturday. We'll get for day at the Marriott Hotel, and that's going to be at 2660 Woodley Road, Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20008. All right? And then we'll get for day for the president in town hall meeting where I know the kind of people that when they put them together now Washington DC, it get for be tough, it get for be nice, definitely. So that's gonna be on Saturday, September 29, 2018. Now they will get for gather with all. So you wait in at that area day, or you wait one for see you president in action, you want for travel for gonna Washington DC next tomorrow, day after tomorrow. All right, so that we get for do, and so my family, I want for take this opportunity for tell una all plenty thank you. Now so we get for can end this program for today. So on Saturday we are going to get ready to bring a better program to you. Today we apologize to una for some of the things that we were not able to bring come to una, but we safe not to we just want for me say there were so many constraints. We try, we don't set up all the systems, but we try. First of all, we say the president be day today, they not agree for let person enter. When you don't enter at the hall, they not agree for me come out again. The way you don't come on a door, they're not agree for me to go back inside. So a lot of restraints been there, or constraints to go in and out. So we apologize to una for we were not able for bring kind of program to una. They will be one for Brancan. But at any rate, be ready, be rest assured in Washington DC it's going to be even better. Our mobile studio is going to move to DC. All right. So from there, I want to tell una all plenty thank you. Stick around with us.